Ooh, that feels great. After a week of straight 89 degree weather with 80-90% humidity, this is exactly what we needed. Oh, what I needed anyway. Good morning and happy Saturday, folks. So before I get into today's video topic, which at this point, given the rather unambiguous YouTube title, you know what it is. Let's get to my low and high act of kindness. Let me set the phone down real quick. Try to make sure it doesn't fall backwards. So, my low can just easily be defined as I get up here, right? And, you know, I was getting ready to do my my short that I would do, you know, jumping in the water just like I did, only be about a minute long, etc. And there's no power up here. I mean, like none whatsoever. I mean, I know we had some rainstorms, but, you know, no power, that's crazy. It turns out, well, actually, you know what, I need to be able to sit down to tolerate this, so let me, put this on. I love you can see my swim trunks underneath the towel. Okay. Chain. Put this over here real fast. And hold on a second. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me, Good. So, here's the thing. I've said this before, but my parents plan on tearing down our cottage to rebuild it so they can live here year-round when they retire. And they plan on doing that, you know, September, October. And obviously, when you embark on such an endeavor, you need to, you should probably be asking some very important questions. Specifically, like, you know, what are you going to do about furniture? What are you going to do about, like, stuff that's inside, whatever. But also, I mean, it should be pretty obvious, but there's not going to be any power anymore because we're going to be tearing it down. Why would you need power for? And my mom called the NYSEG to just say, like, what would the process be to shutting down the power to the cottage, because we're not going to be up here when you tear it down, because, you know, we're not going to need it because you're going to tear it down. Apparently someone at NYSEG took that as come to the cottage and demo the power. So that was a giant mess. Don't worry, it was, I mean, I wouldn't quite say it ruined my day, and plus I still had a nice day regardless, but, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I really wanted to jump in the water yesterday, and, you know, with what happened, it knocked the wind out of my sails is what happened. So, with that in mind, my high was I had a wonderful meal at Union Block Italian Bistro last night. Shout out to Union Block Italian Bistro. They changed their menu. Yeah, it's different from what it was last time I was there. Not in a bad way, though. In fact, the menu actually, I think, looks a little bit better in some ways. And in fact, it was so good, I think I might go again tonight. That's how good it was. But we'll have to wait and see. Oh, that'll probably go to Timberstone. I haven't been to Timberstone yet. We'll probably go to Timberstone. I'm saving Lakeside for later. Hi, Lakeside. I'll there see you soon. Anyway, so, my act of kindness was actually the fact that since I was up here, I noticed that the power was out. And, you know, my dad called NYSEG and everything. Full stop, I may very well have just saved the weekend for my family. Me. I did that. Speaking of saving things, I think it's about time I finally did my arc thoughts on the next arc that came after the Moro Saga, which is the Granolah Saga. Now, keep in mind, everything I'm about to tell you is just from my personal experience and what was going on at the time and whatever. So, I remember the Moro Saga taking quite a long time. Like, I think it was like 2 years altogether, maybe even longer. And when it finally ended, I'm like, where are you going to go next? Enter the titular character of this saga, Granolah, who is a Cerealian. Like, because remember, Akira Toriyama always made, characters are always named after, like, food. So, cereal, get it? And he does not like Saiyans, because Saiyans killed his, allegedly killed his mother. Get to that in a minute. And trust me, that leads to a very big plot hole eventually. Anyway, so there's this group of people out there that were kind of like Frieza's competitor, let's say, called the Heaters. And with Frieza back, they can't really do so much anymore. So they figure they'll use Granolah, who's under their hire, and, you know, trick Goku and Vegeta to show up and, you know, like, fight each other, and it gets to be a little bit of a mess. And on top of that, one of the Heaters, there's one Heater named Gas, who really does look like a little kid, but he's clearly the strongest of them all, which leads to one of the big plot points of this arc. Because where Granolah is, they have their own set of Dragon Balls. There's only 2 of them. And Granolah wished to be the strongest being in the universe, because he wants to be able to destroy the Saiyans and Frieza, and that's why. And he does this because his race lives to be about 150 years old, roughly. For him to obtain such power, he would have to give up a very, very, very large chunk of his life. Like, after doing so, I think he only has like 3 years left to live. Which, yeah, listen, listen, if I was in that scenario, it wouldn't be worth my life, man. Honestly, I mean, would you rather, I don't know, it actually does ask the question, would you rather live your life in regret, but you'd be able to live a full life, or drastically shorten your life, do all that you can, but you really wouldn't be able to enjoy it that long? You know? But, anyway, they do the same thing for Gas later, and Gas is just freakishly strong. I mean, Goku can't really fight him, Vegeta can't really fight him, which brings up to Vegeta, Ultra Ego. Okay, like, I have a friend who has a tattoo of when Vegeta did this look during the Majin Buu saga at the World Martial Arts Center, where he was possessed by Babidi. He has like that look, and I'm sure you guys know what look that is. Seeing Vegeta go Ultra Ego was like the first time I actually felt like, yes, this is the Vegeta that I remember. Because like the more damage Vegeta takes, the stronger he gets. And that's actually really funny and scary. Like, oh man, there's a lot of really great plot points in this arc, but I need to address the elephant in the room here. I said earlier that Granolah hates Saiyans because it was Saiyans that actually killed his mom. Well, it's here we get the flashback. Specifically, Bardock. Yes, Goku's father has played a major role in this saga, because he actually was trying to protect Granolah and his mom, and it was long story short, it was the Heaters that wound up killing Granolah's mom. Unfortunately, like, they were in hiding, and Granolah gave himself away. Yes, Granolah, who hates the Saiyans, and by extension Frieza, for killing his mom, because remember the Saiyans are under Frieza's hire, is the sole reason why his mom died. Oh, bro. I mean, listen, a lot of people were turned off by Granolah. I almost was. Almost was. At the end of the day, I kind of gave it a bit of a pass, only because when this happened, Granolah was just a little kid. And, of course, you're not going to remember everything that happened when you're a little kid. Or you're going to remember things differently when you're a little kid. So, if that turned you off of Granolah, I totally get it. And I also need to address the other elephant in the room, which is the reason why the Heaters made Gas the strongest person in the universe via Dragon Ball Wish is for the sole purpose of, like, they wanted to destroy Frieza. Who doesn't, right? Well, it's around the time where Gas is probably about to die due to the, what happened with the Wish. That's when Frieza shows up. And he completely decimates Gas. Yes, Gas is supposed to be the strongest being in the universe, and Frieza decimates him. How is this possible? Well, there's actually a bit of a loophole. And that loophole is, when you wish to be the strongest being in the universe, you wish to be the strongest being in this universe. Remember, there's 12 universes out there, as well as other dimensions like the Demon Realm. If you're not in the universe at the time that wish is made, technically that gives you the ability to train and become stronger outside of that universe. So when you go back into that universe, then you become the strongest. Basically, Frieza found a similar dimension to the hyperbolic time chamber. He trained ridiculously again, and he has a new form, which I'm just going to call it right now, because anyone who's seen Frieza's final form, like, he's completely, white skin with, like, some purple features, like that one purple thing on his head, stuff like that. He then becomes Black Frieza. So, are we just going to ignore the fact that technically Frieza's doing blackface? I guess we are. Although, speaking of things to ignore, years ago, when one particular chapter of this saga came out, I made a follow-up video explaining what people were getting wrong about it. And the chapter was one of the flashback chapters where Bardock gets his wish on, the Dragon Balls on Granolah's planet. Because he was able to get himself a wish. I think he gets like 2 wishes or something like that. And Bardock simply wished for, here's the thing. When that chapter first came out, everybody was up in arms over what the wish was. Because they read it as Bardock basically wished nothing but plot armor on Goku. Everyone thought that the wish was that Goku could never die, which is not remotely what the wish was. What Bardock wished for was that both of his sons, yes, Goku and Raditz, just live long, happy lives, or something akin to that. The point is, that's what Bardock really wished for. None of this nonsense of, Goku could never die, and that's why he's still alive. Okay. Let's say for the sake of argument that is actually what Bardock wished for. Let's say for the sake of argument that Bardock actually wished for the fact that Goku could never be defeated or something like that. If that's the case, then that wish really never came true. Because not only has Goku lost several times in the series, he straight up died several times in the series. In fact, one of those times he died came from fighting his own brother. So yes, the wish that you made in regards to, having your sons live long, happy lives, well, yes, you never predicted that would happen, right? So yeah. I just wanted to point this out again because every now and again I'll see like, basically there's plot, that's not plot armor, homie. That is not plot armor. Just wanted to point that out there. So, before I continue on, I thought about doing something like I did last month when I did the Moro Saga, which was come up with who should be the voice of, well, last month I thought who should be the voice of Moro. I thought for this video, I thought who should be the voice of Granolah as well. Actually, my note's behind you, hold on. Now, when I came up with this list, I was only going to do 15 because I wound up doing 15 choices for Moro. I just kept brainstorming and I wound up with 20. So I'm going to try and sort of rapid fire this because I need to explain before I go over this list that every single choice on here, not only do these people have experience in voiceover work, but they've either been lead, main, or very high supporting roles. And I will explain as the list goes on. So, David Faustino, Mako from Legend of Korra. PJ Byrne, Bolin, also from Legend of Korra. Craig Sykes, Beast Boy. Michelangelo, Kevin Levin. Kari Payton, Cyborg from Teen Titans. Scott Menville, Robin, also from Teen Titans. Yuri Lowenthal, Sasuke Uchiha. Simone the Digger. Eric Bauza. I mean, come on, he was just in The Day the Earth Blew Up as both Porky and Daffy. Of course he'd be great. Jason Marston, Max Scoof, as well as Gear from Static Shock. Jason Ritter, Dipper from Gravity Falls. Sean Astin, Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As well as Samwise the Brave from Lord of the Rings. Seth Green, Chris Griffin. There's also Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Liam O'Brien, Gar of the Desert. Sam Riegel, Viol from Gurren Lagann. And Donatello from one of the iterations of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Travis William, Portgas the Ace himself. Jeremy Shada, Finn from Adventure Time. Zach Callison, Steven Universe himself. Will Friedle, Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond. Ron Stoppable. And, I mean, come on, who doesn't like the big brother from Boy Meets World? Dante Basco, Zuko, and American Dragon Jake Long. Jack DeSena, Sokka from Avatar The Last Airbender. As well as Monkey Kid, MK. I love that show. And finally, Steven Yeun in Avatar Mako. Avatar 1. Sorry, Avatar 1. But also, he's the voice of Invincible. So yes, I'll say it again. David Faustino, PJ Byrne, Greg Sipes, Kari Payton, Scott Menville, Yuri Lowenthal, Eric Bauza, Jason Marsden, Jason Ritter, Sean Astin, Seth Green, Liam O'Brien, Sam Riegel, Travis William, Jeremy Shada, Zach Callison, Will Friedle, Dante Basco, Jack DeSena, Steven Yeun. Done. Okay. Those are the people I think would make for great choices for being the voice of Granolah. And speaking of Granolah, I mean, the Heaters are pretty much defeated. I mean, those two, and I love the names of the Heaters too, because they're basically like oil, gas, basically forms of how you get heat, which is kind of funny. But let's get into, or Elec, that was another one. But with Frieza now having a new form, able to knock out both Goku and Vegeta. I mean, keep in mind, I think if Goku and Vegeta were, like, not injured and having just been fighting Gas and Granolah to some extent, like, if Goku and Vegeta were at full strength, I think the fight would have been... Because Frieza one-shots both of them at the same time. Like, I don't know. I think that there's an argument to be made that, like, Frieza pretty much just got Goku and Vegeta completely off guard based on what was going on at that time. But the fact remains, Frieza's still out there. He has a new form. What could possibly happen next? Well, I'll tell you. How about a movie? I'm not kidding. After the Granolah Saga, the manga went over the Dragon Ball superhero movie, which I will be talking about next month. I hope you like this video. If you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all you guys watching Joe for name. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful... What am I doing? I forgot to do the thing. Now then, I hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on social media. As always, I'm very humble. This video for all you guys watching Joe for Name. You have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And remember, if you guys want to talk, change, we're here to let you know who's back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.